Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. We got some good things that we currently need to discuss going on in the boxing world, man. We're gonna talk about Nicklaus Flaz versus Tiger Johnson. Tiger Johnson absolutely dominating, stopping Nicklaus Flaz. You feel what I mean? We're gonna talk about Jaron Ennis having to earn the Vergil Ortiz fight according to Vergil Ortiz's team. Then, of course, we're gonna get into some open boxing topics. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's in the building thus far. If I could go ahead and hit the like button, that'll be very much appreciated. We on the road to 4K. We well into the 3,200 mark. About to hit that 3,300 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation and the mob for making this possible. All right. Sheesh. Shit did not look good for Nicklaus Flaz, man. that boy Tiger wasn't playing, bro. Mind you, I was rooting for Nicklaus Flaz heavy, man. I thought he had what it took to do what he had to do to dispose of, defeat Tiger Johnson, but I was absolutely wrong, man. Yeah, I mean, Slime, shout out to my boy Slime, man. He was pissing me off in that group chat. God damn, but, he was right. You know what I mean? So congratulations to Tiger Johnson, man. From the very beginning of that fight, in my opinion, Nicklaus Flaz had trouble, closing the gap. Tiger Johnson, you could tell he did his homework. He knew exactly who Nicklaus Flaz was going into the ring. And he was able to slow the pace down. And that's something that you should absolutely do with somebody who's, a rhythm, high volume type of fighter in Nicklaus Flaz. Tiger Johnson was using his movement. Whenever Nicklaus Flaz got off a combination or attempted to, he would tie him up. Didn't really like the fact that Nicklaus Flaz was hitting behind the head. Wasn't really feeling that at all. I was really upset with the officiating in this fight, to be honest with you. There was a lot of rabbit punches, which I'm extremely against. Something that I'm very, very sensitive about, just being a former fighter and things of that nature, and really caring about boxers' health. I didn't like how many rabbit punches Nicklaus Flaz threw, and I didn't like that the referee never really gave him a warning for it. Tiger Johnson in his corner was complaining about it throughout the fight, but at the same time, the fight didn't really last long. I don't even remember what round it was. It might have been the third or the fourth. But the first knockdown was absolutely beautiful from Tiger Johnson. Smooth right hand over the top. Nicklaus Flaz didn't see it at all. He felt real ugly, which let me know that he was extremely hurt. He was able to beat the count the first time around. The bell rung, so he was saved by the bell. He got back to his corner, and it looked like Nicklaus Flaz had even recovered a little bit. His legs were still a little shaky, but, it seemed like he had his wits about him. However, Tiger Johnson let off another combination, and Nicklaus Flaz went down again. This time, I knew for a fact that he was done, and I knew prior to the second knockdown that he was bound to get stopped because of how the way he was reacting to Tiger's punches. Tiger's right hand was extremely sharp. His jab was very, very was really the key to his victory, to be honest with you. And he made a statement, man. So I'm not really too fond of Tiger Johnson, on some real shit. This make me want to put a motherfucking bag on his head. I need Tiger Johnson to get the fuck up out of the 147 division. I need somebody to pack him with the quickness. You got rid of one of my Puerto Rican brothers. We need you gone. So I know I'm just fucking with you. Shout out to Tiger Johnson, man. I am a fan of Nicklaus Flaz. That was kind of a disappointing performance, in all honesty. I did hear him express some concerns about him not being able to see out his left eye prior to the knockdown. I don't know if it was a shot from Tiger that, fucked with his vision or whatever the case is, but fair play to him. It was a great performance from Tiger Johnson. I wasn't really too enthused over his last performance over Boca Chica. This was a complete 180 in my opinion, and Tiger Johnson completely, continues to go up the ranks at 147 pounds. It's going to be very interesting to see how the way Tiger Johnson is able to perform against those higher level 47 guys. Because to be honest with you, and I've never seen Tiger Johnson personally, but he doesn't look like the biggest welterweight. You know what I mean? Maybe it was the cameras, I don't know. But he looks relatively small in comparison to the guys who, are at the top of the division. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm looking at, even though you may not look at them as like highly skilled guys, and you can make a case that 147 isn't as competitive as it once was. I understand that. But when we look at guys like Rolly Romero, he fought as low as 135 pounds, but that's a big guy. That's a big welterweight. Brian Norman, he's not the biggest one either, but very, very strong. And in my opinion, Brian Norman looks bigger than Tiger Johnson. We got Stanionis, who I perceive to be a decent sized welterweight as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Tiger Johnson meshes up with these top guys at welterweight and if size will ever play a factor. But regardless, like I said, he proved me wrong. Slime proved me wrong. Great prediction from Slime. You know what I mean? Sometimes you right, sometimes you wrong. Boxing got a way of humbling everybody. You can feel like you know so much in the sport of boxing, and then an outcome will come about where it make you question everything you've learned over these past few years. It is what it is. But yeah, like I said, and I also want to comment a bit more on the officiating in this fight. Besides the rabbit punches that the ref consistently let Nicklaus Flaz get away with during the fight, I didn't like how the ref was almost willing to allow Nicklaus Flaz to go on after the second knockdown. It was like, how much did this motherfucker had to give you stanky legs? How much did this dude have to do the chicken dance in order for you to wave the fight off? You know what I'm saying? Like, he literally put his back to you and had his hands up against the ropes. Nicklaus Flaz had no idea where he was, yet you were still trying to let him go. Were you trying to get that man hurt? Were you trying to put this guy in a position where he could bounce back and win? Was you trying to get this guy get put on a highlight reel? What exactly was going on with that? I didn't really understand. And officials, they have a tough job. I'm in the process of becoming an official myself for USA Boxing, for the amateur program. So eventually I'm going to get firsthand experience and, give you guys more of a more credible insight on how it is to be an official. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong, but that was plain as day, man. I didn't really understand why he was okay with Nicklaus Flaz, almost okay, and I say almost okay because Flaz's legs wasn't underneath him no more. When he tried to go to his right, he fell all over. He gave the referee no other option but to wave the fight off. However, he should have waved that off as soon as Nicklaus Flaz turned his back to him and put his arms up on the ropes. That lets you know that Flaz is not in the right state of mind. He's not aware of what's going on. He's clearly concussed. So if that's the case, you need to go ahead and save the fighter from himself, because Nicklaus Flaz, he would have continued fighting. He was clearly hurt, in the midst of, Tiger Johnson throwing them combinations, but he still was throwing. You know what I mean? A lot of these fighters will go out on their shield because they don't know no better. They warriors. So you have to save him from himself, man. Great performance from Tiger Johnson. He proved me wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to necessarily apologize for it. You know what I mean? Because it's a prediction at the end of the day. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't. But like I said, Tiger Johnson goes up the ladder. Bit of a disappointing performance from Nicklaus Flaz, in my opinion. He drops down in the rankings. He's going to have to figure some things out. Definitely need to tighten up on some defense for sure. There's no reason why you were getting hit that clean with right hands. You kept bringing your head back to the center line, allowing Tiger Johnson to get his jab off consistently throughout the fight. And Tiger Johnson came up. I mean, this dude. I'm not going to bring that into the equation, but regardless, I hope Nicklaus Flaz learns from this experience. He does have a lot of potential. I still, really believe that. But it's like Nicklaus Flaz, he has a lot of his career has been a roller coaster thus far. Get some good wins, comes up short. Get some good wins, get stopped in the first round. Get some good wins, now you get stopped again. Now it's like, what are we doing with Nicklaus Flaz? Is he just like a low-level fighter where, he's not going to be able to rise to the occasion against certain styles? Is it his, lack of coaching? It could be a lot of things. You feel what I'm saying? But regardless, congratulations to Tiger Johnson. That was a good win. Definitely a good win. And let's keep it real. Tiger Johnson came in on the B side. He came in on the B side. He came out first. They introduced him first. A lot of people was picking the Nicklaus Flaz to win. So much credit to Tiger Johnson. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he does next in his career, for sure. Let me see something real quick. Let me let the group chat know that we live. Yeah, man. So now we transition on to the next topic. You feel what I mean? Shout out to everybody that's in the building. I didn't get to address all the comments yet. Shay, what up? Reform, what up? Agent 86, Coffee Plant. What's going on? What's going on? Matthew Manhunt Walters, what's going on? Ralph. Marissa Alvarez, what's going on, Marissa? Bella Faith. Dangerous Desires, Bullies, what's going on, brother? R3. Des 22. Marissa follows up. She says, I wonder who Top Rank is putting them in the ring with next. I mean, that's a good question. Who would necessarily be next? Because you got to take a step up after that. You know what I mean? You got to take a step up from Nicklaus Flaz. So I would like to see him fight. I would like to see him fight another contender, man. I think that'd be good for him. I don't think we're talking about world titles just yet. You know what I'm saying? Let's actually take a look and see who's available that's like within his rankings that'll actually be a good fight. Let me see. You know what would be a good fight for him? For Tiger Johnson? This would be a tough one. Two options. I ain't even gonna lie, because I see them around his rankings right here on BoxRec. Julian Rodriguez, who just had a good ass win over Avius Griffin back in June. Y'all remember that? Why is Julian Jackson? shout out to Julian Jackson. But Karen Chukazan, that might be that. I think that's a little too much, because what you talking about with Karen's a top welterweight contender. I would like to see him take a small step down from that. Just a small step down from that. You know what I mean? But within 1 to 2 fights, I would like to see Tiger Johnson do that. See Rohan Polanco, like that's tough. But for real, Tiger might have the tools to, because Polanco defense is very leaky. I'm gonna say that. So that's a winnable fight, but Top Rank, if you think about it from a business aspect, R3, which I don't really like to do, but I don't think they'll necessarily do that. I don't think Top Rank can do that, because these are two guys that, they're still building. You know what I mean? I don't think they're ready to cash out neither one of them yet. Because if you put these two together on some Top Rank versus Top Rank shit, like Top Rank is going to have one elevate, but they also going to lose money on the other. I think they would rather just build both of them up, make them sturdy names, and then have them fight each other and cash out on the two. I don't think they're going to make them fight at any given moment. But if they were to actually make that fight happen next, that would be fire. But I think that Julian Rodriguez, somebody who's not with Top Rank, I think that'd be a great fight. That'd be a great fight. Because Julian Rodriguez can rumble, man. He could seriously fight. And we seen Julian Rodriguez touch the canvas in the 8th round. You know what I mean? I don't know what round it was. But then he came back. He was actually able to stop Avius Griffin. You know what I mean? And Julian Rodriguez came in on the B side as well. Let's just keep it 1,000. Another one. Abel Ramos, man. You know what I mean? Gave Barrios a tough-ass fight. You know what I mean? Abel Ramos got a lot of experience. He got some punching power. Why not? And when you look at the dudes that, Abel Ramos fought and the ones he lost to, they was all other, like, top contenders or even champions in the division. And if you slipping, you know what I mean? Abel Ramos will make an example out of you. So this a good one right here. Let me actually look through Abel Ramos's resume real quick. I mean, obviously he got the draw with Barrios. He hasn't fought since then. It's coming up on a year. You could probably catch Abel Ramos lacking. That'd actually be a good one. He fought Cody Crowley, who was a top welterweight. Luke Santa Maria. I remember him as well. He beat Omar Figueroa Jr. And he only had one loss. Lost to Dennis Ugas, who ended up becoming champion. Beat Manny Pacquiao. He beat Brian Perella. I remember him coming up on PBC as well. They deadass got an unknown on his resume. What the fuck? This shit literally says unknown. Like how y'all don't know who he fought? He also lost to guys like Ivan Baranchek, like he Jamal James, Shane. I think they used to call Jamal James like Shango or some shit. Yeah, I remember him too. But yeah, man. Mike Doonan, what's going on? Boxing Wiz said Kid Austin said he wants Shakur and Abdullah Mason. Well, he had the opportunity to fight Shakur, but you know, they can't something strange happened. You know what I mean? Whatever happened, you know, only them and God knows. And they were offered a fight with Abdullah Mason. And you know, we've seen that fight didn't happen. So do they really want those fights, Boxing Wiz? It just sounds like they're trying to keep their names relevant. It sounds like they're just trying to keep their names attached to guys who, you know, are either world champion or bound to be world champion. Boxing Wiz said, my boy Tiger gave dude a knuckle sandwich, bro. That shit was bad, bro. Tiger whooped that ass. That was bad. That was bad, man. But it was a good performance, man. I like what I saw from Tiger Johnson. For real, for real. So, are we ready to talk about this, y'all? Are we ready to talk about this? What's the ETA for that, babe? Because in a little bit, I gotta grab my girl food. So let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and pick this up right here. Let me show y'all this interview, y'all. Because I ain't gonna lie, man. I've been trying to hold off my opinion on this situation. Because when I was younger, I used to jump out the window before shit became a reality. I like to sit back, watch how things play out. And once the cookie crumbles, once the situation unfolds, then I provide my opinion on that particular topic. Now, I'm hearing little things that's going on with Golden Boy and Vergil Ortiz's team. And I ain't gonna lie, man. This shit is really killing my enthusiasm in the next fight between Jaron Ennis and Vergil Ortiz. It really is. And I don't know if people really caught it, but ever since Jaron Ennis re-signed with Matchroom Boxing and said that, or his end, he signed off with Eddie Hearn pretty much saying that they will be looking. And this is just the expectations that Boots has, you know, with re-signing with Matchroom. It doesn't necessarily mean that him and Vergil are signed to fight, ready to go. That was never what was put out there. When they re-signed with Matchroom, him and Eddie Hearn had an understanding that they'll have one fight at 154, just like anybody else would do, including Vergil Ortiz himself. And then the next fight, they'll be looking to explore a fight with Vergil Ortiz in early 2026, right? Ever since that has come out, we've heard nothing but pessimism come out of Vergil Ortiz's camp, whether it was his promoter, whether it was his father, whether it was his trainer, Robert Garcia. And I got a lot of love for Robert Garcia, so this ain't no disrespect. But it just seems like now that Boots is really targeting this, now that he's locked in on this and there's nothing else that he wants besides that, hold on, I got caught up in Mike Doonan's comment. Now that Boots and them seem to be locked in on this potential fight, now it's like they trying to put Jaron Ennis like through the ringer, like they trying to get this nigga obstacles now. And I was like, bro, y'all niggas was just talking about how Boots turned down the fight with y'all. You know, he had the opportunity to fight us twice, which is a bit disingenuous based off of the information that I've gathered. But whatever. since y'all was so optimistic in fighting him 2 times, and y'all clearly can't seem to get a world title fight within y'all grasp. And this is the crazy part. I heard Vergil Ortiz say that he's not even upset that he's not getting the world title, that he hasn't gotten a world title anymore, and that, for him, it's all about just fighting quality opponents and all this. Like, I heard him say this out his own mouth, bro. You think I'm lying? I just saw the video today. So let's pull this shit up. This is what Vergil Ortiz said, bro. I didn't say this. I was just watching it. I don't know if it was on YouTube or it popped up on my Instagram feed. Let me see. I'm going to pull up my YouTube history right here, man. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat, man. Let's see. I just seen that shit. Where is it?
Still, you haven't held the world strap. At this point, I'm not even frustrated anymore because I'm just doing me. I'm just taking the best fights as I can. The fans are happy with some of the opposition that I've taken, and some people aren't, which that's why I was saying there's that small people. But you know what? You can't please everybody. It doesn't matter. Floyd Mayweather, you got Canelo, you got Muhammad Ali, Oscar La Hoya. So I think Oscar's a big example in this because look what he's done. I forgot, 7, 8 division, something like that. 6. Yeah, 6. And people still hate on him. You know what I mean? So gold medal, and a gold medal. You can't please everyone. So he's just like, you know what? It just comes with the job, and I just got to deal with it.
Shout out to Ak and Barak for that. Listen, he clearly just said in that interview, and that just came out not too long ago, that he's not even upset about him not getting a world title shot anymore, which is also crazy to me. It just seems like Vergil just don't give a fuck enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, in that same interview, he said he's not hands-on with the business, which was very concerning for me. And in all honesty, I feel like that's why his career is going the way that it's going, because he's not hands-on enough. You know what I'm saying? Because if he was a bit more assertive in things and really pushing for things he might have a world title around his waist by now. You see what I'm saying? But he said that as long as I'm fighting the best competition, man, it is what it is. The opportunity is there for you. So I don't understand how Vergil Ortiz could say this and then his father come out and say some bullshit like this. Let me go ahead and pull this up. I was just watching it earlier. This ain't gonna be hard to find. Here it goes right here. And his name is also Vergil Ortiz, but obviously he's the senior, right? So let's go ahead and share the screen. And the title of it is right here on Fight Hype. It's a 7-minute interview. It says Vergil Ortiz, this is Jaron and shuts down fighting him next. You gotta earn your way. Wow. I want to hear him say it, though. So let's hear it.
All right, Jeff Zimmerman here with Vergil Ortiz Sr. Just got done with the press conference here in Fort Worth, Texas. Sundance Square, your backyard. How you doing, Vergil?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Good. I like that hat, man, being an LA guy.
Thank you.
You converted.
I love LA. LA is a good one. I love being there. I love the people.
So listen, I know we only got a few minutes, but talk about this fight, man. This kid, Lubin. Lubin is kind of one of those low-key guys you don't hear a lot about. He's not on social a lot. He's a dangerous fighter. 2 losses, Fundora and Charlo. I mean, why this fight? Why now?
Look, he's the guy that's available. He's the guy that's the best guy out there available.
Why fight Erickson Lubin? Because he's available. He's one of the best guys that's available. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to that, yo.
You know, he can fight. You know, he's not a boring fighter.
He could fight. He's not a boring fighter. Take notes.
He's respectful to a point, I guess you could say, right? So, you know, at the same time, you also, when you're fighting, you don't want to be going backwards either, because believe it or not, you're as sharp as your last guy. You know, you're fighting on nobody and you get them out early. It doesn't do you.
When you fight, you don't want to fight. You don't want to fight backward in the terms of opposition.
Do anything unless you're buying time or unless you're trying to save yourself or whatever it is. So keeping him sharp still, keeping him in a fight still, you know, but also giving him time to rest, because they need time to rest too. You know, Bird's been fighting a lot of hard fights. You know, a lot of his fights has been hard. You know, so that's pretty much it. Just keeping him sharp and letting him still be himself, because as these guys get older, they need time to rest. And if you're resting so long and taking an easy fight, it's like basically does nothing for you, you know. So it's really just about keeping him sharp, and he's competitive. He doesn't want to just fight somebody either, just some regular anybody. He's not built that way, you know. So
he's all over the place. Am I the only one noticing that? Do you notice that he's saying like, oh, you know, you got to rest. You know, Vergil's had a lot of tough fights. And then he's like, but you know, Vergil Ortiz is competitive. You know, he doesn't want to take easy fights. I don't understand, dude. Hold on. Let me play this back.
It's like basically does nothing for you, you know. And if you're resting so long and taking an easy fight, it's like basically does nothing for you, you know. So it's really just about keeping him sharp, and he's competitive. He doesn't want to just fight somebody either, just some regular anybody. He's not built that way, you know. So you don't want to waste his time.
How do you, and I know you guys are focused, I mean, you guys don't overlook anybody, but you already got the talk about Boots Ennis out there. Boots is going to be in the arena. How do you stay focused at the task at hand and don't let that, what some people are calling a super fight with Boots?
Well, we don't buy into all that, because you know, Vergil has a fight going on right now. That's one thing. You got to show his opponent respect, because if you know, boxing works certain ways. You know, you overlook somebody, it'll bite you in the ass. You know. The other thing is that, I mean, come on, the guy just fought a nobody. You know, how are you supposed to sit here and be worrying about him when he's fighting nobody? Just like thinks he can just go straight to you like.
I will never understand. Like nowadays, it's like if you don't know this person, then you associate them with being a nobody. First of all, if anybody was a fucking nobody, I think it'll more likely be like a fucking Thomas Delorme at 154, or what the fuck? Who this nigga fought? What was that dude's name? Fucking Frederick Douglass. Who the fuck this nigga fought? Who was his first fight at 154? If anybody was to be a fucking nobody, it would be the first two people that y'all fought at 54. And Vergil Ortiz's team constantly comes up with some type of excuses, bro. Frederick Lawson. Shout out to Birdman. Frederick Lawson. If anybody is nobody's, it's the first two motherfuckers that you fought. No, not Mazuma. I'm not gonna throw dirt on Mazuma's name. No. Frederick Lawson and Thomas Delorme were the first two fights that Vergil Ortiz took going into the junior middleweight division. Boots fights a top 10 guy who has an IBO title. Whether we look at it as credible or not, you know what I mean? That's a different discussion. But nonetheless, it's a world title, right? Coming off of one loss at middleweight, fighting on short notice. But nonetheless, a top 10 guy in one of the most stacked divisions in boxing, yet he's a nobody. But Frederick Lawson's not a nobody. And Thomas Delorme at 54, who Boots had knocked out previously at 47, I guess they're somebodies. And y'all want to blame health issues? Bro, listen, I had to retire from boxing because of health issues. So if anybody knows about that shit, it's me. You feel what I'm saying? Within that first fight at 154, y'all should have known whether y'all could stay healthy at the weight or not. Y'all chose to take two fights. Y'all chose to take two fights, bro. Errol Spence flew out of a fucking Ferrari motherfucking heel that fought Danny Garcia. And stop acting like y'all tune-ups was justifiable. Because niggas done went through worse shit and still fought champions. You feel me? So don't be trying to shit on Boots because he fought a top 10 guy and you fought 2 bums and then you want to blame it on your health issues. Man, miss me with the bullshit, bro. Niggas that had worse health issues than you and still didn't believe in tune-ups and got the fucking job done. So cut it the fuck out.
How about you fight somebody? You know, you got to earn your way also. It's just the way it is. Lubin has earned his way. So
Lubin has earned his way. First of all, why these niggas talk like they world champions? Why does he act like his son is just on a different level than Boots at 54? Y'all niggas is on the same fucking level. Y'all on the same level. Y'all both interim champs. Nigga, what is you talking about? With the fucking 4 going on 5 fights that you had at 54, you have done nothing but earn an interim title, and Boots did that in 1 fight. 1 fight. He accomplished what you did in 4 fights, he did in 1. What you've been able to do in 4 fights, I'm sorry, Boots did in 1. And that exact mentality, and I don't know if this is coming from Vergil Sr. I don't know if this is coming from Oscar De La Hoya. It might be a combination of both. Right? Y'all are the reason why your son is not a world champion. Because you sit here and talk about, oh, Boots got offered to fight twice. And nigga, y'all had the opportunity to fight Xander Zayas twice, and y'all didn't, nigga. Since we just talking about this shit. Y'all, they offered Xander a fight with Vergil out in Riyadh. And this was before Xander fought for the WBO. Xander said yes. Vergil T was like, oh, well, they picked them for me. How the fuck you letting niggas pick fights for you? You the fighter. You just letting niggas tell you what to do. Like you an employee. Nigga, you the boss. Cool. So then Xander Zayas gets the opportunity against Jorge Garcia Perez, wins the WBO junior middleweight title. Vergil tries to spin the block on Xander and get the fight with him. Okay. Xander told y'all niggas what y'all need to do in order to get a shot at him. Because he is the champion. You go ahead. No. And he could have fought Bachram, but he said, oh, because of his health issues, it's impossible to fight for the IBF because of the 10-pound rehydration clause. We let him have it. Cool. We let him have it. But look, check this out. You had the opportunity to fight Xander Zayas. Xander said, come see me in Puerto Rico. Now, Xander probably could have been capping. But that's when you were supposed to get in the mix and pull the nigga card to see if he bluffing. If he a bitch, then you expose him. But if he was really meaning of that, like if he really meant that, you be fighting for a world title, not fighting Erickson Lubin. Right? You could have been fighting in January 31st. You could have been fighting Vergil Ortiz. You could have been fighting Xander Zayas January 31st in Puerto Rico to possibly win the WBO title. But guess what? You, your team, your chubby face, no chin having ass father have this mentality where they talking like they the guys and y'all not. And y'all not. Y'all niggas is interim belt holders. It's not like y'all won titles in the past. Nigga, you went through 3 weight classes and get a fucking single strap, nigga. That's like being on like y'all niggas is like Chris Paul. Y'all go over here. Y'all go over here. Y'all was in this weight class. Just like Chris Paul. Chris Paul was on this team. He was on this team. He was on this team. Never could get a fucking chip. Y'all the same niggas. You was at 40. You was at 47. You was at 54. You have yet to get a fucking belt. Xander Zayas did the same thing, but guess what? He got a fucking belt. Regardless of how the way he got it. He got it. So when y'all every time y'all seem to have some type of opportunity, y'all niggas find a way out. And it just seems like this is the golden boy formula. This just seems like this the golden boy formula. Y'all niggas play so safe with y'all guys, which mind fucks me because the two guys who actually, are partners in Golden Boy Promotions were some of the most courageous niggas that we've ever seen in boxing. B-Hop, 20 title defenses for everybody and their mother. Roy Jones, Antonio Tarver, motherfucking Chad. Wait, who? Man, B-Hop fought everybody. Tito Trinidad, Oscar and Bernard fought each other. And Oscar De La Hoya, 6th division champion, fought everybody and their mother. But when it comes to they promoting, bro, they want to hold these niggas' hands and fuck them out of opportunities, bro. Boots was unified, brother. What are you talking about? He was the IBF interim champ. He was in line to face Errol Spence. Terrence Crawford beat Errol Spence. Terrence Crawford had the rematch clause with Errol Spence. Due to that, he wasn't able to fulfill his mandatory. Bud was going to move up anyway. They strip Bud. They give the belt to Boots. He becomes the IBF welterweight champion. He goes on to defend the belt after the fact. Mantas Stanionis, he was the WBA regular champ. He was elevated to the full status champion. 2 full status champions, they face each other. Boots unifies. So what are we talking about? And on top of that, Boots also had the Ring Magazine belt. So we can't be out here spreading misinformation. That wasn't a WBA. That wasn't a regular title, brother. So that was a unification fight. So who was the champion in the WBA then, Mick? And don't you got to get elevated to WBA super champ? Don't you got to get elevated to that? Ain't that what? Isn't that what happens? I'll be right back, y'all. Give me 1 second. Y'all go ahead and converse amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. She drove past. She probably dropped it up in front of the crib.
Yo, y'all see me? I had to go outside, see what's up with this delivery. But I don't want to throw off the conversation or take too much away. You know what I mean? If y'all hear me, let me know. But man. Can y'all hear me? Let me know. All right, cool. But yeah, man, I just find it weird that they got an excuse. They got every excuse in the book. Every excuse in the book for why these motherfuckers can't get a world title. When they had plenty of opportunities, right? At the end of the day, they interim champs. They want to flex and flash like they fucking world champions. He just fought a nobody. Nigga, you fought Frederick Lawson and Thomas DeGourmet. Who really, like, neither one of them niggas had any type of business getting in the ring with you. Let's just keep it 1,000. Talking about you gotta earn your way, bro. Every time Eric Lubin stepped up, he lost. So how the fuck he earned his way? Every time Eric Lubin stepped up, he lost. There wasn't one nigga that he was in a 50-50 or a tough fight with that niggas, like, who honestly picked against Lubin and that he won? What the fuck? Yo, I think this bitch just robbed us for our food, yo. I think this delivery lady just burnt us out our food, yo. This shit is crazy. She drove past my crib, completed the order, and just kept driving. Yo, Mick, this is easy research, brother. Like, you over here trying to go back and forth with niggas. You could clearly pull up articles where it clearly states that Stanionis was elevated from regular champion to full status champion. So full-on champion. Like, there's plenty of articles that come out here and say that. So the fact that you're capable of doing that and you choose not to, just to try to discredit Boots, is that's ignorant. You feel what I'm saying? That's extremely ignorant. So I think you gotta tighten up, brother. Do your research, read the articles. You know what I mean? And once I go upstairs, I can send them back out to you. Yo, this bitch just burnt us for our food. So Rolly isn't world champion at 47. I mean, according to mixed logic, I guess not. Cause that's exactly what Rolly just went through. Soon as Boost moved up, Rolly got elevated. So Rolly is the WBA champion right now. But based off of mixed logic, you know, Rolly's still an interim champ. Right, Mick? Nigga, what I said was, Mick, you not understanding what I'm saying. Mick, you not even understanding what I'm saying. You saying I'm shit. You saying I'm shitting on Vergil when you are shouting Boost the Unified Champ. First of all, yeah, what I'm saying is Vergil Ortiz team, his father, is flexing as if they are the champions, right? They flexing like they are the champions when in reality they're an interim champ, just like Boots. And Boots has accomplished more than Vergil Ortiz because he's actually unified a division when Vergil Ortiz has yet to win a world title. What's wrong with me saying that? You considering that me shitting on Vergil Ortiz, or am I speaking on the factuals, like the facts? You gotta make it make sense, brother. That shit not adding up. Boo's claim to fame is beating a regular belt holder. See, these type niggas you can't even talk to. These type niggas you can't even talk to because you telling them the facts of the situation and they still stuck on misinformation. You literally spreading lies on here when we giving you the facts. So instead of accepting the facts, you decided to still play with shit. So these type niggas, y'all the niggas that be getting hit with the wrench. You feel what I'm saying? Because if you can't have an honest, objective conversation, then there's no use in you being here, brother. You know what I mean? So it's either you gonna the way that they got it structured, the regular belt and the interim belt is basically the same shit. It is. Because the IBF, they just got interim and then they got the champion. The WBA, they have the WBA, they got the WBA regular, they got the WBA title, and then when the WBA feels like they don't want you to have mandatories, then they give you the WBA super champ. See, the WBA super champ was created just so motherfuckers couldn't have mandatories. They really built that shit around Floyd Mayweather for real, for real. They wanted Floyd Mayweather to keep that belt. Why? Because as long as Floyd Mayweather kept that belt, they kept getting stupid paychecks or getting percentages of Floyd's purse every time he fought. So it was like, yo, you know what? We not gonna get this nigga no mandatories. We want this nigga to keep the belt for as long as he can. We don't want to give him no mandatory obligation. So what we gonna do is we gonna get this motherfucker. Hold on. We gonna get this motherfucker the super champion status. So that way, bullies. You saying they said they wanted that fight? So Mazuma didn't. Turkey say Boost didn't want the Ortiz fight. Bro, Turkey be talking and don't even know what the fuck he be. Bro, that nigga right there, bro. Listen, I don't know exactly what the information is on that whole situation, right? Turkey the type nigga. It's a lot going on out here, y'all. Hold on, let me check with my girl real quick. Oh my god, bro. Yo, these motherfuckers is grimy, cuz. Wait, can y'all see me? Hold on. I can't even see me, I bet. Shit, I don't know what's going on. But, bullies, if that's the case, who's the champions that's available, bullies? The point that I'm making to you, bullies, is that he had plenty of opportunities to fight other champions, and he didn't. Did he not have the opportunity to fight Xander Zayas for his WBO title? How about fighting Bakr Mortazaliyah? They said they couldn't fight for the IBF because they didn't want that 10-pound rehydration clause. They didn't want to fight Xander Zayas because they wanted it in a neutral location. You know what I'm saying? The WBC, you know how the WBC be. I can't be mad at Vergil for that. They be grimy. But they let Fundora do whatever he want. Oh, shit. So they just burnt us? Report that bitch. They gave us the money back?
In 3 to 7 days.
What the fuck? What's her name? Jaylene what?
It
They don't say the last name or like the abbreviation. Dirty ass bitch. Fuck Jaylene. I'm about to look up what's going on, yo. We just got burnt out of some food.
Wait, this is Julie
Jaylene, who?
M.
A M? And she never answered none of the calls.
No, not even my text. Oh, she's so bad. Turned the corner and then kept going down. And then complete order.
And that was DoorDash? Nah, that's a little scam that DoorDash be doing, where they'll act like they purposely be taking people food, bro. So they'll have you wait for the food. They'll come right by your crib to make it seem like they dropped it off and then complete the order. Yeah, Tiger beat the shit out of Nicklaus Flaz, bro. Bad. But anyways, let's get back to the topic. My fault, yo. So what we doing, babe? You want to order something else?
I was very tired.
So what you gonna eat? See, that's the shit that be cooking me, bro.
I'm just writing her. Bad bitch.
Let me see.
I don't know if she's reading it, but
Let me see.
we should finally get to the corner.
You can't go to the app. You can't go to your order history, select the order, and report an issue. We snitching on her. Fat dusty bitch. If y'all know, if anybody from Philly know a girl by the name of Jaylene that does DoorDash in Philadelphia, let them know that I said that you a fat dusty hoe for stealing our food when you could have easily got your own with the money that you would have received for completing the trip, you dusty dark neck bitch. Let me just say that. If somebody from, you know what, and I'm going to record that and put that on Instagram too. Hold on. Yo, I just want to say, man, anybody that knows somebody by the name of Jaylene and her last name ends with an M and she happens to do DoorDash, let them know that I said that she's a fat, dusty, dirty bitch for stealing my food. And God so help me, if I was to ever figure out who you was, I'll slap the dog shit out your man for, really taking, being with a dusty old hoe that's still Mexican food. Like you that fucking broke, you that fucking dirty where you just got to steal from people. Drove past the crib, act like we ain't see a little dirty ass drive by, act like you completed the order so you could get the bread. Use a thief, and on some real shit, I probably slap the shit out you myself and just deal with whatever come with it. I cannot stand a thief, especially a female. Let niggas do that. Why you got to do that? You know what I'm saying? Like a female that's a thief, like that's a different type of shitty person. Get your life together, you fat bitch. Let me go ahead. I'm gonna put my captions on it. I'm going to censor it so they don't report me. She happens to do DoorDash. Let them know that I said that she's a fat, dusty, dirty bitch for stealing my food. And God so help me, if I was to ever figure out who you was, I'll slap the dog out your man for, really taking, being with a dusty old hoe that's still Mexican food. Like, you that fucking broke, you that fucking dirty where you just got. Imagine being that hungry. She got to be a dusty fat hoe. Type of bitch that slime like. But anyways, now my girl gonna give me a motherfucking attitude because your fat, dirty ass wanna go and steal food. On some real shit, I need her information.
It's always this place too. She probably smelled it. Like, you know what? I'm gonna just keep it.
Yeah, that's definitely slime type. The type bitches that steal food. But anyways, let's get back to the topic. My bad, y'all. I didn't think this was gonna happen. Let's hear whatever Vergil daddy guys say. Let's hear it.
Fighting nobody, just like thinks you can just go in here and guy just fought a nobody. The other thing is that you overlook somebody, it'll bite you in the ass. The other thing is that come on, the guy just fought a nobody. How are you supposed to sit here and be worrying about him when he's fighting nobody? Just like thinks he can just go straight to you. Like how about you fight somebody? You got to earn your way also. It's just the way it is.
You saying fight somebody? He trying to fight you, dickhead. So what are you talking about? Oh, you need to fight somebody. Well, that's what he's trying to do. You fucking dummy. He told me you got to earn your way. Oh, so he got to fight another somebody, not you. He got to fight another somebody.
Lubin has earned his way. So for us, that's how we see it. Lubin's earned it. This guy's not even in the conversation for us. When you fight somebody,
who's the more credible opponent, Ardeel Holmes or fucking Uizma Lima? Lubin earned his way. You're only as good as your last fight. Come on, bro.
Or if the money's there and they present it and it's good, that's fine. But the guy turned it down twice already, just recently. This last offer was supposed to be for October. So how can we sit here and think about him when he's already turned it down? For us, it doesn't make no sense. It's like I heard somebody ask this question. I don't know if it was you, somebody saying, "What does it feel like having a guy they're already waiting for you?" How? He just turned it down twice. How does somebody wait for you when they turn it down twice? It just don't make no sense.
And he's not the champion.
The question, well, even if he was a champion, he turned it down.
Right.
Just this last offer. How is he waiting for you when?
Yo, didn't Vergil Ortiz have some type of hand injury or something and said that he wouldn't be back until November? I swore that was what it was. Vergil Ortiz, didn't the motherfucker have a hand injury and said he wouldn't be back until November? In June 23rd of 2025, Vergil Ortiz makes it clear he is not ducking a fight with Jaron Boots Ennis, is recovering from hand surgery. Okay, let's read through this. Whatever, bro. It's a lot of he say, she say shit. You know what I'm saying? So how could you say that a fight was offered in October if y'all was healing from a hand injury and wouldn't be back until November? That's what was said back then. Then the other time they had offered the fight, Boots was currently at 147 trying to unify the division. They had came over with a fight offer to fight Vergil Ortiz at 47. Boots has said yes. They went back over to Vergil Ortiz's team. Vergil Ortiz's team said, yo, we can't make 47 anymore. We got the fight would have to happen at 154. They came back to Boots' team. They were still in the process of unifying 47 or attempting to unify 47. Boom. It wasn't able to happen because they was on different types of times at the moment. But now Boots is at 54. He wants to fight. Oh, no, you turned it down twice. So why would we even? Nigga, what? And this is the thing, like, if let's say Vergil Ortiz gets a world title shot next, I really wouldn't be mad at it because that's what it's about at the end of the day. If you play in NBA, it's about it's about winning the NBA finals. If you in the MLB, it's about getting to the World Series. Boxing's equivalent is winning a fucking major world title, right? But who out of all of the world champions is going to be available to fight Vergil Ortiz next? Sebastian Fundora, he hurt. And when he come back, he fighting Thurman. You not getting that opportunity, sir. The WBC is not giving you the opportunity to become Sebastian Fundora's mandatory. Why? I don't fucking know. It sounds similar to the Benavidez-Canelo situation with the WBC, right? Cool. So then, let's jump over to the IBF. Y'all said y'all can't fight for the IBF because of that 10-pound rehydration clause. That'll be detrimental to, Vergil Ortiz's health. Considering his past health issues, that would make sense. All right, cool. So then you transition on to the WBO. You had the chance to fight Xander Zayas. You wanted to have a fight in a neutral location as if you were a fucking champion. You fucked that fight up. Abbas Barahu took advantage of what you took for granted and is about to attempt to unify with Xander Zayas. You fucking idiot. So who does that leave you with? If you can't fight any of the world champions next, which neither one of them look like they're going to be available, all of the champions are occupied, sir. Really think about it. Bakram fighting Josh Kelly. You wasn't even trying to fight for the IBF anyway. The WBA, Barao, he's going to fight Xander. Xander's fighting Barao. Sebastian Fundora, he coming off of an injury, but when he comes back, he's fighting Keith Thurman. Who does that leave you with? Another interim champion in your division, sir. That's who it leaves you with. So you stop acting like Boots got to prove himself and all that. Bro, he's on the same level as you in the division. You're not standing out from Boots. Y'all both interim champions. Let's fucking have it, nigga. Don't start popping your shit. Because see, when Boots was at 47 and he was just trying to stay down there and try to get all them belts, it was cool to say, oh, yeah, Boots said no. Yeah, Boots turned it down. But now that the motherfucker done walked up to you and is face-to-face with you, now you got Oscar De La Hoya over here talking about, man, he should stay home. Why would you want him to stay home, Oscar? If you truly want the fight and you want to make the fight as big as possible to benefit your fucking pockets, why wouldn't you want Boots to come to the fight? Why are you so against Boots coming to the fight? Because it sounds like Boots isn't somebody y'all want next in y'all motherfucking plans. That's what it sounds like to me. And I've been trying to be optimistic this whole time, y'all. I've been trying to be optimistic this whole time, but they keep giving me every indication that they're going to try to do something else besides fight Boots. And I seen Mick say something. Hold on. Let me see. Mick said something. You say you hope Lubin beats him now. I saw Lubin saying that fight don't even make sense for Vergil to take, and like as if he's fucking Vergil Ortiz's manager. You're fighting him. Why are you trying to tell him what the fuck he should do with his career? Let me see if I can find that. Because I fuck around and share that shit on the screen too. I saw that video earlier today too. Let me see if I can find it. Because I already done found the other one with Vergil saying that he don't care. He's not even upset about fighting for a world title anymore. It's really about facing the best competition. But when it comes to Boots, Boots got to do something. Hold on. Let me find this shit. I was just seeing something from Lubin where he said that.
This is an opportunity for me to shut everybody.
No, that's not it. Oh shit, I lost it. Fuck. Shout out to everybody in the chat, y'all. Look, one day ago, Erickson Lubin takes shot at Vergil Ortiz's resume. Right here. Erickson Lubin takes shot at Vergil Ortiz's resume, says Ennis makes no sense for Vergil. So in your mind, that fight wouldn't make sense for you neither if you were to beat Vergil Ortiz. So all these niggas sound like they don't want to fight Boots. Let's just keep it real. Yo, Boots, I'm going to keep it real, bro. I still want to see you go to Dallas just so you can make them niggas look like they pussy. I hope Eddie Hearn flies in from the UK. As a matter of fact, I hope Eddie Hearn flies out to Philly, picks you up in the PJ, and then flies out to Texas. You know what I'm saying? To go sit down and watch the fight. I hope you ringside. I hope you find a way past security, get in that motherfucking ring, and be like, yo, pussy, what's the deal, nigga? Like, what is we doing? But Eddie Hearn be in the background like, yeah, you were chatting shit. Let's have it. Let's have the fight. It's a massive fight. Let's have it. And I hope Vergil Ortiz and them, man, you got to earn your way. Man, you got to earn your way. You turned down to fight twice. You turned down to fight twice. Man, shut your whole ass up. This nigga said Vergil was right. Why fight for a world title when he could hold out for 3 years and become one when Fundora moves up? You gonna start your career out for 3 years just so you could get one world title? That's some crazy shit. That's super duck activity, bro. I ain't gonna lie. We gotta send these niggas to the promised land.
You gotta come down to the promised land, man. 235 acres. We farming our own chickens, homie. Thousands of chickens, thousands. Running around everywhere, quack, quack, quack. Talk about next level shit, homie.
Send them niggas back to the promised land. They out their motherfucking mind. That's what Stanionis done. Well, to be fair, Vergil Ortiz had pulled out of like 2 out of the 3 fights with Stanionis because Vergil was having the health issues. And as a result of them health issues, he had to move up in weight. I remember the one time, and I forgot what it was called. It started with like an R, but he was overworking his body so much that his kidneys were like basically shutting down. Like his body was deteriorating on him for, attempting to cut the weight, trying to get his weight down. And he was damaging his body as a result of that. So I think the one time Stanionis had to get some type of surgery or some shit. What, yo?
He said it only can be used within an hour.
They gave you $3 in credits? What the fuck? Yeah, something. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember. So that was just terrible time. It almost reminds me of the Khabib fight with Tony Ferguson. They were supposed to fight each other so many times, but they both was having issues. Some fights just don't fucking pan out for some reason. It's just they be having some type of fucking bad juju around them fights. I'm not going to shit on Stanionis. I'm not going to shit on Vergil for that because, like I said, I'm somebody. I'm a living testament. I'm a living example of somebody who, was looking to have a career in boxing. But health issues made me sit back and go towards other things. Health issues can play a part in boxing and why you may have to hang the gloves up. And Vergil was like this close to hanging the gloves up from what I understand. I get it. So I'm not going to shit on Vergil for his body breaking down and him having to move up in weight and not fight Stanionis. I would rather have him. Even though I'm not really agreeing with how the way, Vergil's moving right now, what I'm going to say is I would rather see Vergil healthy and competing at a different weight class rather than killing himself to fight at 147 to give us a fight that we looking for. Because we wasn't anticipating, we were really excited about, or at least me, I was excited to see Ennis and Vergil because I knew that was going to be a dog fight. You know what I'm saying? But let me hear what else he got to say in this video.
He just turned it down. That's like you going out on, you know, I don't know, some girl turning you down and you're sitting there waiting on a date that's not even there. Like, it doesn't make no sense to me. So,
Yeah.
that's how I see it.
Listen, I asked Vergil just a little while ago, and I even asked Oscar. It seems like every weight class that Vergil's in, 140, 147, 154, it's the most stacked.
It's always been like that even since the amateurs. It's been like that since the amateurs. But the thing about it is, you know,
bro, what is Mick talking about? You said, I mean, why didn't he fight the super champ Ugas or Spence or Bud, etc.? Though you would agree, Ennis was never the number 2 rated 147 pound, apart from Turkey making it up. I don't even understand what you're trying to say. Why are you asking me why didn't Ennis fight Ugas, bro? I don't know. That sounds like some shit you gotta ask him. I don't understand what point you're trying to make. What Ennis did with his career, I don't understand what you're trying to get off. Why didn't the regular champ not fight the super champ? Do you understand why the super... Bro, you do know that the super champ, what the reason why they are the super champ is because they don't have to fight their mandatories. Because typically, regular champ is just another way of saying the interim champ, right? Cool. So, for instance, Floyd Mayweather was a WBA super champion, right? Keith Thurman was a WBA regular champion. Because Floyd was a WBA super champion, he was never obligated to face Keith Thurman. When Floyd Mayweather retired and relinquished his titles, guess what? Keith Thurman was elevated to the WBA super champion, right? Keith Thurman was elevated to the super champion. Then shortly afterwards, what Pacquiao beat him for the Pacquiao beat Thurman. Pacquiao beat Thurman, became the WBA super champ from what I understand. If I'm wrong, please correct me. It's been a while. Then Ugas beats Pacquiao. Right. Ugas beats Pacquiao. But what you're leaving out is Manny wasn't obligated to face Dennis Ugas. Manny was supposed to face Errol Spence, but Errol Spence ended up picking up an eye injury. So Ugas came on short notice to keep the show going forward. Because I think Ugas was supposed to be on the undercard anyway. So that was just a rare instance of the regular champ facing the super champ. But it wasn't because he was like Manny was obligated to do so. It's not the case at all. Ugas just happened to be available, and Manny Pacquiao fought him as a result of that. Dennis Ugas defeats Manny Pacquiao. He becomes the champion. Errol Spence beats your Dennis Ugas. Gets the WBA strap. Terrence Crawford defeats Errol Spence. Gets the WBA strap. When he's the WBA super champion, there was something. Your Dennis Ugas ended up getting the WBA regular title. Ennis ended up. Okay, bro. So when Manny Pacquiao beat Keith Thurman, that wasn't for a title. I'm tripping. Manny Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman built billed as welterweight supremacy was a boxing match for the WBA welterweight championship. Right? Cool. They stripped Manny? Okay. The WBA stripped Manny? Okay, he did. They did. They stripped Pacquiao for inactivity. I mean, yeah. Then okay, so Ugas had the regular title, I believe. They stripped Manny. Ugas elevated as a result of that. Right? Shit is complicated. I know. Jamal, yeah, I remember Shango. Shango had a version of the WBA as well. This shit is hard to keep up with, bullies. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I get caught up. He said I always thought Floyd was elevated to super, and then they elevated Thurman. So Thurman had the WBA regular, I think. Floyd was the WBA super champion. When Floyd relinquished his titles, Thurman got elevated to the super champ. I completely forgot they stripped Manny. And that Stanionis was regular champ. Okay. Ugas fought Manny. Ugas beat Manny. Cool. Stanionis was regular champ. So what ended up happening after that? Okay. Dennis lost to Errol. Errol lost to Crawford. Crawford vacated his belts to move up to 54. Stanionis elevates, right? So are we going to discredit Stanionis for... Are we going to discredit Stanionis for just being elevated to full status champion? Yeah, I know that. Spence beat Ugas. Did I say the opposite? If I did, then my fault. Floyd petitioned for Super to not fight Thurman. He then told him, fight Spence. If you win, I'll fight you. Yeah, I remember that. Stanionis fought once in 3 years. That just sounds like some WBA politics. Listen, all these sanctioning bodies, they be turning a blind eye to a lot of shit. FanDuel taking too long to cash me out for the Tiger fight. Hey, man. I don't know nothing about that, brother. I don't gamble often. But every time I seem to gamble, I lose. So there's that. Let's see.
For us, it's different. When you're in that kind of division and you're fighting like the way you are, for us personally, it means something. It means more. Yeah, you got guys that are champions, two-time champions, but who could they fight? Like, and it's funny because it just depends who it is. Some people are happy there. They look at the title and like, oh yeah, I'm a champion. Like, I'll just say, Xander, he's all, he should be happy, I guess. But when he tries to rub it into like let's say he shows Robert and Vergil's face and oh yeah, in front of I'm a champion. Your championship fight is Vergil's 12th fight. Think about it. It's like
bro. So why the fuck? If that's the case, why y'all niggas don't got a world title? Why is that? Oh, your world title fight was Vergil's 12th fight. Okay. So y'all are fucking idiots for fighting these caliber guys and not getting a title as a result of that. Y'all niggas is established nobodies. Because you're not somebody till you got a strap around your waist. That's how I feel. Now, I do think there is a certain point where you can outgrow the belt and be bigger than the belt. But that takes a lot of hard work and consistency. It's like y'all niggas beating top guys. Imagine beating top niggas and still not being crowned as a champion. That's crazy to me. You beat Mazuma, former WBA junior middleweight champion, no belt. You beat Serhii Bohachuk, no belt. You about to fight Erickson Lubin, no belt. But bro, every fucking opportunity that you could have fought for a world title multiple times, Vergil. Multiple times. There was a time where Bohachuk was just, I mean, not Bohachuk. There was a time where Bachram was just sitting around waiting for an opportunity. He couldn't get shit. You could have stepped up to it, but your motherfuckers bringing up their health issues for why they can't make the weight. All right, cool. 10 pounds ain't enough for you. You know, getting up to 164 is not a healthy weight for you to fight at. All right, cool. So then you got the WBO. You wanted to fight the nigga in a neutral location as if you have any say-so, as if you're a champion. Like,
no better than his 12th or 13th fight. So it just depends who values it how, and for us, you know, Vergil doesn't want to be wasting his time. He wants to be remembered as one of the best, you know. It means something. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about him. It's how he feels about his career. But, you know, that's why some people either they stop working or they keep going because they're not satisfied. They want more. It's the same thing. It's the feeling that they have.
And I'm here with Vergil Ortiz Sr. Just got done with the press conference, Sundance Square, Fort Worth. Big fight, Dickies Arena, Erickson Lubin. I'll get you out of here in a second, Vergil. Crawford, man, I know you guys wanted that fight. I remember Crawford was at one of Vergil's fight, and remember getting with Crawford afterwards and everything, and that fight just eluded him. I mean, now Crawford, you know, beats Canelo. He's on top of the world. Is that a fight that you guys would still want if it became available?
Well, it was available for us a year before he. So after his fight, not Canelo's fight, the one after when he fought Mazuma, it was available. Turkey asked if Vergil would take the fight, and yes, he said yes. And then he offered it to Crawford, and Crawford said he was not interested because he was looking for the Canelo fight. Now this is a year before because he didn't fight for a whole year.
Right.
So Canelo took a fight in the middle of that and then fought Crawford. So Vergil wanted the fight, and even Vergil in Saudi Arabia asked Mazuma. Asked
Turkey.
No, Crawford, because Crawford was there. Right there. Vergil went up to him personally and told him, "What are you going to do with belt?" And they had their own conversation. I'll let them say, you know, whatever. And they just left it like that. So we already knew that he wasn't going to fight Vergil once he done talked to him. We already knew. Now this was offered. The offer was before, and then they told us that he.
Niggas ain't talking about shit no more, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave that alone. Man. So let's go on with these comments. Donald Banks says, don't forget, when Floyd fought Manny, it would have been for the WBC, WBA, and WBO, but Floyd didn't pay the fees for the WBO. That's when Bradley and Vargas fought for the vacant WBO. No, Floyd had actually won the WBO, but because he didn't pay the fees, they stripped him. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at that fight, when you look at the end result of Manny Pacquiao and Floyd had the WBO, you know, on his arm. Let me see where that's at. Where's that picture at? He had 3 out of the 4 major belts after the fight. There was a dope ass picture of that. Where the hell is that? It was a fire ass picture. I gotta find that, John. Why I can't find that joint? I'm high. Oh, there you go. There you go, right here. That's fire, bro. Look at that belt in the background. Look at this. Look at this fire ass picture. I ain't gonna lie, this shit fire. Like, how could you not want that? So look, take a look. You got the WBC. He got a few different different WBC belts. But he got the WBC, he got the WBA. Look at Nate Jones in the back with the WBO. That's Manny Pacquiao title right there. He said Mayweather stripped of title he won in Pacquiao fight. Yeah, he ain't paid them fees. For sure. And to be real, I don't think there's an actual picture of Floyd holding that WBO belt. He probably don't fuck with the WBO. Yeah, but you can see it in the background though. He held that WBC and that WBA though. And I think who had the IBF? Was it Sean Porter? Yeah, he had a belt at 54. Yeah, I remember that. But yeah. Floyd had 3 out of the 4. Floyd could have really pushed for undisputed if he wanted to, but you know what I mean? That'd have been dope to see Floyd become undisputed though, but it is what it is. Kell Brook. It was either Kell Brook. Did Kell Brook have it at the time? No, at that time frame in 2015. It was either Kell Brook or Sean Porter. Who had the IBF at the time? When did Floyd? They fought in 2015, I believe. Damn, that was 10 years ago, y'all. They rumbled in 2015. I can't believe they robbed my girl out of her food. Man, it got me feeling like... Yeah. Kell Brook held the IBF welterweight title throughout 2015. Beat JoJo Dan and Frankie Gavin. That was some bum-ass title defenses right there, boy. Frankie Gavin and JoJo Dan. Crazy. Yeah, Kell Brook had it. That would have been a good job between Floyd and Kell. I think Floyd could have beat him too. Floyd would have beat Kell. Because Kell, like the counter punch and all that, Floyd would have been way too. Because Kell was strong. You know what I mean? He had some good boxing ability, but he wasn't on Floyd level. He would have tried to counter Floyd. That should have been all bad, bro. Yeah, JoJo Dan, Frankie Gavin, Kevin Bezier. Yeah, I remember that. I don't know if it's Spence's best win. Is that Spence's best win? Spence got some good wins, though. Kell Brook, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia, Dennis Ugas. He got some. Kell probably is at the top of the list. Junior says Porter and Ugas. Man, I watched Errol Spence and Sean Porter in a movie theater out in South Philly. Bro, best shit I ever did, bro. Best shit I ever did. I don't know what type of dealing that movie theater had, but all pay-per-view boxing events you could watch on the big screen. That shit was so lit. And guess what? That shit was cheap. That shit was like $20. Mind you, a pay-per-view be around triple that, 4 times that price. I was in there watching that, John, man, and listen, niggas wasn't even hip to that movie theater giving boxing. I seen an advertisement on Instagram and went and watched it. It was only like 4 niggas in there, bro. I was like, bet. Shit was lit, bro. They said, but I disagree. Mikey is best win. I mean, Mikey did move up in weight, but Mikey at the time, 4-division champ, top pound for pound level fighter at the time. You feel me? But Errol coming off of that car accident and beating Danny, that's really impressive to me. I don't know. When you add context to the situation, Danny probably at the top of the list too. It's like niggas said Errol was finished. Like when people saw that video, I don't know, man. Imagine if you gave Errol Spence like Andre Ward's or Bernard Hopkins mentality though. Like in terms of discipline. You know, looking at alcohol as poison, you know what I mean, being locked in, not partying, staying focused on the mission. Like, man, Errol could have did so much more, bro. It's disappointing, to be honest. Because when Errol was locked in, bro, like when he was keeping his weight low and all that, man, Errol was a fucking problem. That when Errol started feeling himself, start partying and going out and drinking and all that, blowing up in weight. I'm trying to tell y'all, for y'all, and I send this to my fighters all the time, bro. I always send them as little reminders. Andre Ward got his 10 boxing commandments, bro. It's one of my favorite things to look at. Andre Ward got his 10 commandments, dog. One of them is bad habits outside the ring for any fighter. Like pretty much what you need to avoid. Putting drugs or alcohol in your system. Gaining 20 to 30 pounds in between fights. Only training when you have a fight coming up. Believing in your own hype. There is always more work to do. Loving the nightlife. Believing you can't be beat, anyone can get clipped. Having a bunch of people around who only gas you up and tell you what you want to hear. Laziness. Pride, not allowing yourself to still be taught. Entitlement. Nobody owes you anything. One of my favorite things, bro. I mean, yeah, Errol, he lost to an all-time great. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying what led up to that situation, you know, all the corners he was cutting, you know, he probably would have been in a better position personally if he didn't engage in the nightlife, gaining 20, 30 pounds, probably even 40 pounds in between. No, bullshit, because he will fight at 47, but they said he'll get up to 190. So that's 33 pounds from 43 pounds. Yeah, 43. He put on 43 pounds. And then, you know, and he said that he used to jog in sauna suits, bro. That's dangerous, bro. Broner's the same way. Yes. Broner was the same way, bro. And guess what? Yeah, this nigga brought up Frankie Gomez. All right, Mick, you've been watching boxing for a minute. Niggas forgot about Frankie Gomez, bro. They said Frankie Gomez just... I was reading some comments. I don't know if it's true. They talking about that nigga worked at like a body shop or something. Like he was a mechanic. I don't know if that's true. Then Nicholas Walters ended up coming back, but after he lost the moment, he disappeared. They were talking about he was a tour guide in Jamaica. Now that could be cat. Them niggas probably was just trying to be funny. But man, that's crazy. But yeah, man, like to really sum it up, bro, not to get like too, lost in these other conversations we having. Um, I don't know if Jaron Ennis, like I said, I was being optimistic about Jaron Ennis facing Vergil Ortiz, and I gave Vergil Ortiz like credit. I'm like, yeah, he gonna fight Boost. Yeah, he gonna fight Boost. That's why I even said I want Vergil to beat Erickson Lubin because Erickson Lubin acting like he don't want to, like he not gonna fight Boost, after the fact. So I'd rather see Vergil do it because I feel like Vergil will fight him before Lubin would. And Vergil hasn't said this out of his own mouth, so I'm not gonna really shit on him that much. But his team is they having a totally different you know they talking a totally different language. You know what I mean? So I don't know, bro. De La Hoya talking about they should just stay home. Why would you? And man, mind you, he could have just been talking shit. Maybe he does want them to come over to come watch the fights. But the fact that you even put that out there, you leaving some room for people to say you don't want Boost there because you don't want that fight for Vergil. Then you got Vergil Ortiz daddy on here talking about how Boots he needs to earn his way as if Vergil is somebody in the division. He is somebody in the division, but he's not a champion in the division. Like remember when Keith Thurman was the unified champ at welterweight and Bud was coming up, and he was like, yeah, man, like, you know what I mean? He's a 140 for real. Like he need to go get a belt first before he start calling us out and all that shit. Now, mind you, that ended up fucking them over. The tables turned. But like Keith, I didn't really respect that Keith said that, but he had room to flex because he was the man of the division. It's like I don't respect it, but he could flex because he's the man. Vergil, you not the man of the division, bro. To be the man of the division, you gotta get them titles, bro. And the fact that you haven't been able to get a world title around your waist yet, when you're fully capable of doing so, that's your team doing a disservice to you. And the fact that you're not hands-on with the business, you said it, not me. You are hindering your chances of winning a world title, bro. Could y'all imagine if Vergil Ortiz goes down in the history books without winning a world title? That'll be a huge disappointment. A huge disappointment, bro. Everybody jockeying for position, as they should. If the end goal is to become world champion, yeah, you need to like this boxing shit ain't just about, getting fighting. No, you got to put yourself in position to win. Frankie was that dude, just hated boxing. Yeah, I mean, you know who was also like that? Mikey. They said Marcos Maidana didn't like boxing. He was just good at it. So that's why when he got them Floyd Mayweather checks, he bounced. They said Mikey didn't really like boxing too much neither. He was just good at it, which is crazy because Mikey one of my favorite fighters. But at least Mikey Garcia, he was motivated at one point and wanted to take all the big fights. But they said that like Mikey became a sheriff and all this shit. Like you could tell and then towards the end of his career, like when he lost to Sandor Martin, Mikey was already tapped out. You know what I'm saying? But there was a few people who didn't really enjoy boxing. They was just good at it. I heard Sugar Ray Robinson didn't like boxing. He was just good at it. Mikey did have a top rank issue. Bob Arum spoke about it publicly too. He was saying that Mikey was demanding money that was ludicrous. I think he was asking for like ludicrous amounts of money. And because, Mikey wasn't budging, they put him on the shelf. And he had to settle that shit in court. It took him a couple years. And then once he was able to get out of that deal, Mikey Garcia never signed with nobody like long term for a while. Like he was just signing one fight deals. And he came back into the game at the perfect time because that's when the zone was, trying to get in the boxing game. And, when guys typically get in the boxing game, they be overpaying. You feel what I mean? And there was some people who was able to eat off of that zone situation. Tevin Farmer, he was making a shit ton of money. He had like 5 title defenses and was getting overpaid crazy. Mikey was getting overpaid crazy. Yeah, I mean, it was a few. It was a few dudes. Mikey was eating off of that. Mikey was fighting in the zone. Then he'll go over to PBC. He was going back and forth, and he was getting some great money. I'm aware of Frankie Gomez, Mick. I was just impressed that you knew him because a lot of people don't. They wasn't watching boxing that far back. That's sad that Ryan might actually be world champ before Vergil. Vergil is a way better fighter than him. I agree. Yeah. I would be pissed off if I was Vergil because I'm like, yo, y'all keep getting opportunities for this motherfucker Ryan Garcia, who's a drug cheat, and this motherfucker disrespect Oster on a constant basis, bro. This motherfucker a drug cheat. He be losing all these fights, but y'all keep getting a world title. Meanwhile, y'all can't get a fucking world title for me. Yeah, I don't think Frankie gonna come back, bro. If he truly tapped out and he don't want nothing to do with the sport, I don't think he should come back. And sitting down that long, bro, that's gonna be hard to bounce back from. Like, if you've been sitting on the couch, I don't know, like, you would have to gradually work your way back in. Like, that's not something you're gonna have to just jump off the couch and get into a training camp. Because I've seen people who've had long layoffs then jump straight into a training camp and their body like goes into shock, bro. And then, they're not accustomed to, after their body been on reserve for so long, all of a sudden you want to put it through all this hard work and shit. That's when injuries start to pile up. And you remember when Marcos Maidana tried to make a comeback, right? After them 2 fights with Floyd, he was chilling. You know what I mean? He got all fat and all that. That apparently he was trying to make a comeback. His body wasn't responding too well, so he fell back. Same thing with Oscar De La Hoya. Y'all remember Oscar De La Hoya? I don't know if it was an exhibition or a legit fight, but he was supposed to fight Vitor Belfort. But because Oscar was sitting around so long since the Manny Pacquiao loss, when he tried to get back in the mix, his body wasn't responding well to the trainer, so he had to fall back. These things happen. You can't sit around too long. Because once your body gets accustomed to that, it's going to be really hard to get your body back into motion, especially if you're older. Junior said that's facts that Oscar still get that motherfucking title shot. The title shot is crazy. I would have shelved his ass. The reason why he ain't going to shelve Ryan is because he know that he can get a couple dollars off of Ryan. He got a nice little chunk of change for that Ryan Tank fight. I'm sure he got a nice chunk of change for that Ryan Devin fight. So he like, all right, before this motherfucker walk out the door. And by the way, Ryan said he got like one more fight with De La Hoya. De La Hoya said that's cap. He has multiple fights left on his deal. So just another lie that Ryan Garcia is a part of. Nothing new. But shit, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, he not gonna put Ryan on the show because he knows he could make a whole lot more money off of him. So he gonna go ahead and try to get Ryan the title fight, which is the Mario Barrios fight. You fuck around and beat Mario Barrios, to be honest with you, because Mario Barrios ain't shit. Unless Mario Barrios could turn back the clock somehow and fuck Ryan up, bro, I would be so happy. But Ryan will most likely hit him upside his head, put him out, or whatever the case is, finish him. And then, Ryan could be set up for some big fights at 47 over at Riyadh. He could get that right. then that puts him right back in line. Let's say Devin Haney defeats Brian Norman, grabs that WBO title. Boom, there's a unification fight right there. Boom, Ryan Garcia get a rematch with Rolly. Boom, he could fight. I don't know. I think Conor Ben gonna end up getting that Crocker fight, but De La Hoya he don't give a fuck about Ryan. He gonna cash him out. He gonna squeeze every last bit of juice he could get up out the motherfucker. Pause. He couldn't beat Rolly. Yeah, and I knew that. And I told everybody that was watching my channel at the time that Ryan couldn't beat Rolly. But everybody thought I was crazy. Oh man, Ryan gonna knock Rolly out. Rolly don't got no chin up. I said, bro, that's all Rolly got to do. And he will beat him. And I said Ryan don't got no heart. If Rolly put them punches together on Ryan, Ryan going fold. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. And Rolly ain't take that fucking hand off his temple not one time during that fight. Real disciplined fight. Simple. But you can't lose focus in there and drop your hands. Right in that slave deal. Well, Ryan, he re-signed with Golden Boy. And the thing is, people don't know this, bro. Like, they be having the contracts worded in a certain way where you don't think much of it, but whole time, that little wordplay could fuck you over, bro. That's why they have lawyers read the contracts, because they can read through the funny shit. So let's say you sign a 5-year deal with Golden Boy Promotions, right? Or any promoter. It ain't even got to be Golden Boy. But let's say, it's a 5-year deal, but they have little incentives in the deal, such as if you win a world title under your, if you're able to get a world title under your promotion with us, like during your contract with us, the contract will extend another year, or it'll extend 4 more fights. They have little shit like that. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know exactly what Ryan's contract is, but let's say, for instance, in the contract that it says, if we get you a world title, your contract extends with us for another year or another 2 years, or it could either be years or fights. Like I've heard of that. So they just keep you in the deal forever. But promotional companies be looking at it like, nigga, we got you a world title. We got you to the highest point in your career. You ain't about to just walk away from us. That's why, and I was talking about this with the guys at the gym. I don't understand why Hitchens did what he did. Hitchens was signed with Mayweather Promotions. He wasn't getting any opportunities, bro. Career, at his, low. He's inactive. He's not getting any opportunities. Here along comes Eddie Hearn, who's looking to expand his promotional company, within the U.S. market, because he already conquered the U.K., right? So he's picking up little talented guys. He picks up Richardson Hitchens. He takes Richardson Hitchens' career from its lowest point to its highest point within a short amount of time. You know what I mean? Had him ranked in the IBF. He, in my opinion, Hitchens ain't really want no smoke with Sue Burrell. He even admitted it to Sue Burrell. Why would I fight you if I got a rehydration clause? Why would I fight you if I'm going to be weak? So, he doesn't like a particular style, right? Cool. So then Hitchens, Paro beats Sue Burrell in Puerto Rico. Hitchens finds the opportunity. He sees that stylistically it favors him. He goes and he fights Liam Paro. He beats him. So you went from being somebody who motherfuckers ain't never talk about to becoming a name at 140 and being a world champion at 140 in a deep division, to be honest. As soon as you get this motherfucking world title, you take it upon yourself to let the world know that you are a free agent. See, that's a red flag to somebody like Eddie Hearn, because Eddie Hearn like, yo, I fucking took you out the trash, polished you up. you know what I mean, to show the world the type of jump, like the type of diamond you are, and here you go trying to sell yourself to the highest bidder. It's like, out of like, nigga, you know you still got work to do, right? Like, so because Hitchens is a world champion right now, but he's not a star. See, Hitchens should have played it cool. He should have played it cool. He should have never announced that. And since he got a world title, he should have been looking to build his popularity. He should have been looking to build his popularity. And then once he got to a point where he was like a legit star or like a legit, like big talked about name in the game, like a Shakur or a Devin, then you could go ahead and announce free agency. But right now, you're a world champion. There ain't no doubt about that. But how many high-profile fights is Hitchens attached to at this point in time? The answer is 0. Richardson Hitchens isn't really in huge demand for any fight whatsoever. And if he is, the fighter that he's attached to has bigger options. For instance, the most talked about fight that's associated with Richardson Hitchens right now is probably Teofimo Lopez, right? Okay, that's Hitchens' biggest possible fight that he's connected to at this point in time. But is that Tio's biggest fight? No, it's not. And Tio a duck-ass nigga, so I doubt he'll fight Hitchens anyway. It's a terrible style for Tio. But Tio has a Shakur Stevenson fight on the table. Much more lucrative fight. Much more talked about fight. A fight that is much more in demand than Richardson Hitchens. And Hitchens don't want no problems with the pressure fighters like Subriel. You know, Subriel, his schedule seems pretty packed anyway. He's going to fight Dalton Smith in January. Probably run it back with Paro after that in the middle of the year. If he's successful against Dalton Smith. So that's not a possibility. Gary Antoine Russell been calling you out for God knows how long. You won't even look his way. I just don't know, because now Eddie Hearn looking at you like you shady. You know what I'm saying? And because of that, he probably, all right, well, fuck you then. Like, you know what I mean? You want to go out to the free agency, you trying to fuck me over after all I did for you? Now I ain't going to help you no more. Unless you re-sign with me. So I think Hitchens, he shot himself in the foot with that. You know what I mean? I think he didn't really think things through. Paro is at 147 now. Paro is looking to get that IBF title, to be honest. He's positioning himself to fight for that IBF title. That's what it's looking like. You know what I mean? Eddie won't sign him again. I'm sure he would. I think Eddie Hearn would sign him. But it's like, if you Eddie Hearn, you want to get all the champions you could get. You know what I mean? Because the more champions you get, especially in deep divisions like 140, the more power you have. If it benefits Eddie first. Yeah, of course. Definitely. Because look, Eddie's main objective right now is to conquer the U.S. market. I mean, he did his thing in the UK. He's trying to transition over to the U.S. and get that done too. And he's had some great he signed some great fighters. You know, Sasha Core in the past. Got Jaron Ennis to do an extension. He had Richardson Hitchens. You know, he's had a few guys. You know what I'm saying? He's had some notable guys in his stable. But me personally, if I'm a promoter, I'm not taking that too personal with Hitchens, but I will let Hitchens know, like, bro, if you're not re-signing, I'm not putting you in position no more. The thing about Turkey Al-Sheikh is I never heard Turkey Al-Sheikh ever express interest in Richardson Hitchens. He might look at him as a Tom and Jerry fighter. Remember that? See how that just all went away? Tom and Jerry shit. Justin Jackson, I ain't see you in a minute, Justin. Where you been? Yo, that nigga, man, Tiger trash Nicklaus Flaz, bro. I ain't gonna lie, that shit kind of irritated me. I was like, fuck. Then I got slime on my fucking in my messages. Like, yo, Mark, I told you. I told you. I'm like, man, slime, shut the fuck up, bro. Please. That shit pissed me off, bro. You was on the live yesterday. I don't remember seeing you. But never mind, brother. That's what's up. Tiger and Rohan Polanco next. They somebody brought that up in the chat. I don't know if they gonna do that this early, bro. Like, I would like to see that'd be a dope fight to see. I ain't gonna lie. But I don't know if Top Rank is gonna put both of they early investment like niggas that they invest into and they make their money back on just yet. I don't know if they're gonna be willing to cash either one of them out this early. You know, they like to, these promotional companies, bro, they like to take their time with their young talents. You know what I mean? But I'm sure Rohan will fight Tiger. I'm sure Tiger will fight Rohan. So they was able to fight. You said Top Rank on Tubi? No, they not. Did they announce a partnership yet? Did they sign a deal with a network? Still haven't heard shit. They gotta figure something out by the time Xander fight. Because they announced that fight with Barao. It's like, all right, where they fighting at? They signed with Tubi? You lying. Hold on. Why I didn't hear that? Oh well, they launched dedicated 24/7 channels on Roku, Tubi, Vizio, and Pluto TV. But they haven't solidified, they haven't inked a network deal yet. Okay. I wonder where they gonna end up going, man. If the zone is able to lock in a deal with Top Rank, the zone is literally gonna monopolize like world championship boxing. Okay, so they just gonna be pushing shit on Tubi and other channels like that until they get somebody who's willing to invest. I think the reason why they haven't been able to find the network is because these networks are starting to realize that shit ain't really profitable, man. Like, I'm sure HBO would have stuck with boxing if it was profitable. They left. I'm sure Showtime would have stuck around if it was profitable. They left. The zone's still around, but they also getting backed by Saudi fucking trillionaires and shit. So that's probably how they staying afloat for real, for real. But I don't know, man. Top Rank gotta figure something out. Michaela Mayer. What's up with Michaela Mayer? I ain't even hear nobody talk. I heard she won, but like I ain't never really seen nobody really giving Michaela credit. Did she win? Yeah, she won. She fought for 2 vacant belts. She became unified at 154 and ain't getting no credit for it. That's dope. How many world titles Michaela Mayer got? She won titles at 130. Let me see something. She won titles at 130. Let's see. $130, $147, and $154. 3 division champ. Not bad. Not bad, Mayor. Not bad. White girl doing her thing. She got a title at 32. I see it. She won a vacant belt at 30. I seen her and Alicia still beefing. It's like Alicia ain't got no damn shame.
Snitches wanna try. Snitch.
But anything else people want to talk about before I get up out of here, man? Let me know. Let me know. What these niggas be doing, bro? Anything anybody else want to talk about before we get up out of here? No. Don't all jump at once, y'all. Don't all jump at once. Vergil Ortiz, 8th round. You got Vergil stopping Eric Salub. As a matter of fact, oh yeah, I saw them weigh in. We didn't even get to talk about that. Eric Salub looked like he's in incredible shape. Let me go ahead and pull that up. We didn't even get to talk about that. Shit, my fault. I was so busy being upset at Vergil and them that I forgot about the weigh-ins. So let's get into that. Shout out to Fight Hub for putting this video out. Let me give you guys my live reaction. Vergil drained. Listen, man. I say this all the time. I'm not somebody who just jump out the window and be like, oh, this person drained. Unless they just really look like they dead on the scale. I'm not really able to tell a fighter drained or not until they fight. You know what I mean? If I feel like they left some fight in the gym or they seem to be overtrained, and that's how you know they was, they had some trouble. Like in my opinion, Raymond Ford's last fight against Abraham Nova, he looked like he had a bad weight cut. Like he could have very well been drained and then, try to rehydrate in 24 hours and look the way he looked. You feel me?
Tomorrow's co-main event. It is scheduled for 10 rounds, and it'll be for the vacant WBA Continental North America Super Middleweight Championship. Let's first welcome, coming to us from Reading, Pennsylvania. He brings a professional record of 15 wins, just 2 defeats. 10 of his 15 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is David Dynamite Stevens.
Yeah, Stevens is on the card. Okay.
And now professional coming first to the scale. The 8th scale, G.
I don't give a fuck about what Bull
Event.
did.
All right.
Defending champion. Which way of defending and the first to the scale, the challenger Erickson Lubin.
Eric look like he in great shape, y'all. Eric is ready. Erickson is ready. That's my impression. Doesn't look drained. He's locked in. Lubin is locked in. You see the muscle. Doesn't look like he has too much water, like in his torso area, but also doesn't look drained. He looked like he had a hell of a camp. Face doesn't look sunken in too bad. You know what I mean? And I wanted to say this, all these guys are sacrificing to get down to this weight, man. There's not many people who walk around at they fight weight. You feel me? So, of course, they're going to look different than, in comparison to how the way they look when they out of camp. You feel what I'm saying? When they out of camp, they walking around at they at they walk around weight. When they in camp, they shrinking down to they fight weight. It's two different weights, so you can't expect them to look the same both times. Erickson Lubin looks to be in phenomenal shape. That's what I see. He looks strong.
154 for the challenger.
The energy look like it's there.
Erickson, the Hammer Lubin.
He locked in. He locked in, bro. All right, let's see.
And now to the scale, the defending champion, Vergil Ortiz Jr.
He looked to be in good shape. I don't know what's going on with this video. What's going on? The fuck? The fuck going on with this video? This shit tweaking. It's probably because my laptop about to die. Let me see something. The fuck? Hold on, let's refresh. Y'all see you? Y'all see you? This shit crazy. All right. Yo. My shit hella delayed. I don't know what's going on. We good? I can't tell. I can't tell. Can't tell. Can't tell. Good. I still. What the fuck is going on, bro? Like, what is going on? Oh wow, this shit tweaking, yo.
Welcome, coming to us from Reading, Pennsylvania.
This shit tweaking. Wow. Uh,
Welcome, coming to us from
but let me give you guys what I think about Virgil. Erickson Lubin, he looked like he in phenomenal shape. I'm gonna just say that. Virgil, I could definitely see what the people saying in terms of his energy not being there. I see him chewing the gum, so he definitely hungry. Body wise, he don't look like he's necessarily drained, but his mood definitely looks like he's a bit irritated. So I think it's safe to say that he definitely sacrificing to get down to that weight for sure. Um, but I wouldn't necessarily. I don't know if drained is the word. You know what I mean? Like when I'm thinking of drained, I'm thinking of people like Devin Haney went. You know his last couple fights at 35. That's what I thought of when I thought of drained. Like Jalil Hackett at 147. Um, with them ashy ass lips when he was fighting Pete Dobson. Uh, who else? Like Edwin De Los Santos when he was about to fight Keyshawn. Like that's what I be looking at when Conor McGregor used to make when he used to fight at 145. How drained he used to look. Like that's a drained fighter to me. You feel what I mean? Um, I wouldn't put the drained label on Vergil Ortiz, but was it a sacrifice to get to the weight? Yes. Is it difficult for him to make the weight? It may very well be, but there's a difference between struggling to make weight and being drained. Drained is like, like your health is at risk. Like that's what I think. Like you're not in the best, standing health wise to go into the fight. Coming into a fight, coming into a weigh-in drained is very dangerous, bro. Frank Martin against Tank. Frank Martin did look drained. Yes, he did. If you get on that scale and you look like a totally different person than how you supposed to look, then that's a huge sign of you being drained. Like Virgil don't really look no different to me. Could you tell he lost weight? Yeah. But I don't really see anything too crazy. Now, Erickson Lubin actually looks. Virgil has like a wider frame than Erickson, but for the most part, Erickson Lubin looks a bit taller. Man, Lubin looks locked the fuck in. This is gonna be a good fucking fight. Look like Lubin made the weight comfortably too. So it's a good one. It's gonna be a good one, y'all. Lubin looks full of energy. He's excited. He's enjoying the moment. It's a lot of good signs for it's a lot of good signs on Erickson Lubin's part. Okay. I didn't know Lubin was Haitian. I did not know he was Haitian. I mean, he is from Florida though, so a lot of Haitians in Florida. Yeah, Virgil's not really giving me drained vibes. Just my opinion though, but we won't really know until they fight. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody that came through and show love. If y'all can go ahead and hit the like button on the way out. That'll be very much appreciated, man. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, man. We're looking to try to hit 4K by the end of the year. I know that time is not really on our side in regard to that situation, but shit, we gonna try. You feel what I mean? So go ahead. Let's get this channel on the up. Let's get the algorithm on the up, man. I'll be back at y'all tomorrow to give you guys my live fight commentary and my post-fight reaction to Vergil Ortiz versus Erickson Lubin. So be on the lookout for that, man. We're going to have some things to talk about tomorrow night. So tune in to Mazuma TV. Hope you guys have a blessed, beautiful one. I'm up out of here, man. Peace.